What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. It is Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here. I also work in sales and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on and talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. She is a talk show host, with her talk show being 1943. Uh, Live 1943 talk show where she talks about a range of things. She also has her own business, her own LLC that we're going to be talking about as well. Her name is Regina Smithwick, and we're going to talk to Regina about her why of getting into the media industry and also get to know her outside of this occupation. So, without any further ado, I introduce to you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Regina. Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
How you doing today?
I had better days, but pushing through the day. I had a loss today, this morning, so
Mm,
but it's okay. God put me in where I need to be for a reason, so I'm
absolutely.
glad it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so everything else is weak. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very good, very well. Just want to give my condolences, though, to you and your family. Never easy
Thank
hearing
you.
stuff about that for sure. I'm just enjoying Super Bowl week in the media road week, and everything that encompasses into it, because this is my first time. And it's just been absolutely special. Some of the connections, the people, obviously, you and I meeting up. And you're wonderful. I can't say enough
Oh,
adjectives about you. That's for sure. I want
thank
to ask
you.
you though. Oh, you're welcome. I want to ask you though. What? Uh, how is your week going? Despite today, how was your experience at Super Bowl Media Row week going?
Well, this is my second year, so it's been amazing because, just like you, for the first year, it's probably overwhelming and you trying to soak it on in and I like case the joint out. You want to kind of figure out what's going on, what's happening, all this good stuff. And so being the second year, I kind of know what to expect. So I was able to utilize the time better.
Hmm.
Um, but it's always still going to be chaotic because when you interview or being interviewed, things change. So, you got to
Right.
go, "Okay, I'm gonna interview at this time and I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna be back. I promise I'll be back." And then they'll, talking longer somewhere else. So you have to learn how to navigate. You have to learn how to kind of give grace. And you have to learn how to just, be like, okay, I got to roll with the punches. I got to make it work. But that's about media industry. That's the industry, how the industry is. It's nothing's gonna be just set in stone. Like things change in a matter of minutes.
Forever changing, no question about it. Let me reiterate to you before I start peppering you with all these questions on why I wanted to have you on my podcast, and that's because one, you are a talk show host.
Yes.
And you're also somebody who I believe is a speaker as well. You go out and speak to
Yes.
different crowds and stuff like that. You also have your own business, an LLC with Regina. Um, sorry,
Smithwick.
Smithwick. I
Smithwick. I
want to
know that's a different name. I ain't mad at you.
yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. I just want to make sure I pronounce that right. I was like
Mhm.
Smithwick. Okay. But I do know that since you're in the speaking and communicative type business, I'm also in the communicative type business as a
Mhm.
journalist. So we have a lot of similarities in that instance. And I love talking to people about their why because everybody's story is special, including yours.
Mhm.
So I want to be able to hear your story and hear, everything that encompasses Regina. So the first question that I
Yeah.
always have for every guest that I have on here is very simple. What is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models growing up? Did you have any inspirations? But why did you ultimately choose a career in media?
It's because I'm actually in line with my God-given purpose. And what happened is these gifts that I have, I always had. My mother always told me I had a gift of bringing people together. I have a gift of communication. And I have a gift of people just open up to me. I mean, it's something about me that God gave me that people feel comfortable in a safe space with me,
Mhm.
and they feel comfortable to talk to me about whatever they're going through. But that's been in me all my life, and I never really tapped into my gift. So, um, what the why was, or when the why started, it was about 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And I had like a breakdown because I was living, but I was existing but not living. I was just floating
Right,
around without a purpose.
right,
I decided to give my life back to God, and I just kind of surrendered. And I said, look, I can't keep doing this. I'm just living and I'm not doing what my purpose is. What is that? And
right,
a lot of times we think really hard about purpose, like, or we think about like, why am I existed? Why I'm here? And he gives us all gifts, and the gifts that we are given are easy and effortlessly, and they're there. But sometimes we think because it's easy, that is means is not a gift. We think, oh, well, it's easy for me. Yeah, but it's not easy for everybody else. So what you can do, and what you can do, Chris, other people can't do, right?
right,
And there's things
right.
that we are not good at, but other people, they do it with the snap of their finger. They got it, right?
Right.
Those are our
Absolutely.
gifts. So
Yeah.
I believe when I lean into my gift and realize that, hey, Regina, you have all these abilities. You're able to talk to people and able to have these great conversations, and you're able to really be in tune with them, and you have this caring spirit, and let's change the world. Like, let's do something with this. Like, let's make an impact in this world. And that's why I decided to do this full time in this kind of capacity that I'm doing it in. So
I
that's
love
my
it. No, I love that. I love that why. I mean, listen, sometimes it is a calling, right? Sometimes it is a calling to where you feel like you're called to do this. And I do feel like I'm called to do this as well. Like I love journalistic, I love storytelling, I love doing that. But the main thing is paying it forward as well. Not just doing what I want to do, but also paying it forward to the next person, being able to tell their story, being able to uplift them, being able to reach them, being able to give them tools, things that I've learned in this industry as well, and still learning. But being able to pay it forward to the next individual to help them out on their journey. That's something that I feel like that's what I'm called to do as well. So I love that reason. I really do.
thing.
I want to know, did you go to college?
Yes, I did. I went to the Virginia State University in Petersburg, Virginia. Go Trojans, Hell State, hell, hell, hell.
No.
Yes, and I have my master's degree in organizational leadership from National University in San Diego,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
have a leadership certificate certification from Cornell University. So
Mm.
yes, I am well educated. Yes.
Absolutely, no question about that. I was going to ask you, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to Virginia State? 'Cause I know that's where you got your undergrad at. I was wondering, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you?
It's so funny you said that. Let me tell you. So today I'm walking through Media Row and I see this bright orange and navy blue on. And I'm like, oh, I looked over there. The guy had on a Morgan State University jacket. He had the
Mm,
kicks, the match. And I went over there, I said, y'all was my first choice. He was like, what? I said, y'all was my first choice. And he said, well, what happened? I said, I received, because I'm graduating in 88. So back then we get letters in the mail. Right.
okay.
You didn't
Okay.
get the email thing, everybody's pushing the button and I got accepted. No, you got to go to the mailbox every day. Oh man, oh man. So I get the letter and I get the letter, and the way you knew you got accepted is the letters were thick.
Okay.
If you open it and the letter comes thin, you got rejected, because he just tell you, oh, thank you for applying, but at this time, but one letter, So when I got to
Mm,
Morgan State University, it was thick. So I said, Mom, I think I got in. So I opened it up. It says, yes, you got in, but we don't have any housing right now. So if you want to, be off campus or live with someone, I'm like, what? Oh, I want the full
mm,
college experience. This is when Different World just hit the scene, right?
okay. Yep.
So you like, oh, yeah, wait to go to college. It's gonna be fly. Da, da. So when I got that letter, I was so disappointed because my god sister both of my god sisters went to Morgan State, so I used to visit them when I was in high school. So that was my
Right.
first college HBCU experience. And when I
Mhm.
went to that college and I looked and I was like, I went to a party and I was like, I'm coming here. So,
That's right.
so I
That's
was
right.
so excited by going to Morgan State because my god sisters went. And so when I didn't, and then I received three acceptance letters. I got one from Morgan State, I have one from Virginia State, and one from the Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte.
Okay.
And my cousin went there, so I was like, I want to go where my family's at. So Virginia State it is, but Morgan State University was my first choice.
I love that. I love that story. That's awesome. And listen, anybody that's been to a HBCU, whether you've been there for schooling or a party, it's an amazing experience. Let's just put it
It's a
that way.
culture.
It's an amazing experience. I've been to Morehouse because I went out to Kennesaw State University, which is in Kennesaw, Georgia, about 20 minutes from Morehouse, the Atlanta area. I
Oh, you don't have
originally,
to tell me that. I lived in Atlanta 14 years.
oh, you already know then. So you already know. Morehouse and Spelman, them, whew, that was such a vibe. No question about it. I loved it. I loved it for
Mhm.
sure. Okay, I'm with you on that.
Yes,
Um,
Kennesaw State is a great college. Actually, one of my real good friends' daughter goes there for nursing as we speak.
mm,
Kennesaw is a good school, very good school.
absolutely, absolutely. It's grown a lot over the years. No question about that.
Hmm.
I want to be able to ask you some favorite questions. So you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Regina, are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I
Yes,
like how you took the long sigh and then you said you read it. Okay, I like that. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay, here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
breakfast food. So I like cooking like bacon and sausages and biscuits and grits, cheese grits, cheddar. Uh, no, that's my favorite foods to cook. It's morning food, breakfast.
Okay, now you know if I'm in the same city as you, I might have to pull up, Regina. I'm just
Oh
trying to
yeah, I
tell you.
got you on that. Oh yeah,
Okay,
I could go. I'm very good making some bacon now.
okay now. All right now. I'm gonna hold you to that. That's for sure. Okay, here we go. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh, that's easy.
Hmm,
1985 New Edition NE Tour, Madison Square Garden. Very easy
absolutely.
to
Hold
say
on.
that.
Now, did this one have Bobby? Did it have Bobby on?
I got Bobby. This is
Okay.
actually this was the year before Bob. Well, you know what? Yeah, it was 80. I think it was early 86. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is right before Bobby left New Edition. It was right before he left. Yeah, because
Mhm.
he left in 87. Yep, it was right before he left New Edition. I'm a New
Wow.
Edition fan. I actually went to the residency in Vegas. I had got the first show, the first day tickets. I was there last year.
Okay, okay. Now I'm a huge New Edition fan myself. No question about it. You know, can you stand the rain? I go all the way back to Cool It Now. That's how bad I'm am for a New Edition fan for sure.
Yes. Yes. I
Okay,
followed them 40 years in.
I feel you on that. That's what's up. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
I would say this. I love the Caribbean. I love that culture. I love the water. And actually I do conference cruises every year. So I do a Ring Out Your Sponge conference cruise. So this is gonna be my third year doing it. So
Mm,
the first year we did it, we was in the Bahamas, but we was on one of their private islands. And I tell you, that beach was amazing. The
okay.
sand was clean. It was powdery kind of feel. It was a nice feel on and the water was clear blue. You could see all the way to the bottom of the floor of the ocean. You could see every fish, anything. You could just look right down there and saw everything. That water was so clean.
Mm,
I never experienced a beach like that. I heard people talk about, clear beaches and the crystal blue water. I never experienced it, but when I went there, I said, this is the best beach I ever been to in my life.
I know
And
that's right.
culturally, I would say Paris. I went to Paris last year.
Mhm.
Never been to Europe. I've been to a lot of places, but never been to Europe. The culture in Paris is different because they do. I'm very nerdy when it comes to certain things. Like I like to know. So they were sitting behind the cash register. I said, y'all don't stand up when y'all do that? They're like, no, we sit down. I said, that's right, because you all these supermarkets, they sit down.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Yep.
where they're from. That's where it's from, that area. They don't stand. They treat them differently. Americans, we work hard. They don't let them. I said, what in the world? I just like watching and seeing things that's different from what we have.
Right.
And the way they treat people is the way that they honor their country because they've been respected. And McDonald's, you can't sit still. You can't sit down. Ain't no sitting down at McDonald's. What job for fast food you can sit down? You stand up almost the whole 7, 8 hours you're there.
Showing up, flipping burgers, dropping fries on the cashier, don't matter what you're doing.
No matter what, right. But these people, they let them sit down. They glad to go to work. They
Mhm.
they let them off. They get, they get like weeks of holidays, like 8 weeks holidays over there.
Right,
They
right.
go on medical leave. I mean, not medical leave, excuse me, maternity leave. They out for 5 months. Like they treat them totally different over there.
I like that. I do. I want to hear more about that cruise because when do you normally do that?
This year I changed it. I usually did it between April and May. I've been kind of playing around with the dates kind of because some people who wanted to go, a lot of teachers wanted to go and they never could because it's always during the school year. And I didn't want to do it prime time because I was thinking about people pockets, because those are those prime times. So I said, well, this
Absolutely.
year I'm gonna try to enter August. It's still summer, but before school starts, right at that sweet spot before, the school opens up, right? So this year
Okay.
I'm trying it in August. But it's called, once again, Ring Out Your Sponge Conference Cruise. So you cruise most of the time, and our conference is only one day, but it's impactful. It's like 5 hours. We do a lot of things. Oh my goodness, we do a lot of stuff, and it's so many breakthroughs happen through that cruise. People opened up. It was a safe space. They was able to talk about things. We went through feelings, and we went through purpose. And what are you doing? Are you being productive in life? Or are you just sitting here? Are
Right.
you serving? We're brought here to serve. We're not brought here to serve ourselves. We are brought here to serve others. And guess what? Others serve you,
Amen. Amen.
right? That's
Yeah.
what the world is set up. That's how God set this world up. And I think a lot of times we put the cart in front of the horse and we don't do it the right way. And we wonder why the results are coming out the way they are. So we talk about a lot of that stuff. And then people always say, oh my gosh, you just opened my eyes. It's simple stuff, but a lot of people comment ain't comment to everybody. Because we know it. We think everybody else know. That's just simple. No, it's simple to
Hmm.
you,
Hmm.
but you don't know how people was raised. And
Absolutely.
sometimes our parents are beautiful people. We love them. They took care of us. They made sure we was alive. They did, but a lot of them are trauma. They got a lot of trauma. A lot of them have issues. A lot of them have things. They are parents, but they humans first. And if
Right.
they wasn't trained to know that stuff, they can't teach it to you. And you can't
Absolutely.
teach it to your kids. But eventually the cycle stops and someone gets smart and be like, listen, I got to figure this out. This is not working for me. And
Yeah.
when you figure that out, you go, okay, I got to walk my own walk. I can't just do stuff just because you did it. And a
Hmm.
lot of times that's what we do, right? If our
Absolutely.
grandparents do something, and I'm gonna tell you a short story. So
Go ahead.
um there was a family, it was a mother and a daughter, and they were cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So the mother breaks the legs off the chicken and then put the legs in the roaster and put it in. So the daughter said, why do you break the legs off like that and put it in there? Why don't you just put it in the oven? He said, oh, this is a family tradition. My mother do it and this makes it better. So
Mm.
she asked her grandmother, she said, Grandma, why do you break the legs off the chicken and put it in the oven? She said, girl, my oven was so small, I couldn't fit it. So I had to take the legs off to fit it in the oven, right? So all these 3 generations, this girl's been taught that the reason why is a tradition and it tastes better. It just makes the chicken cook better. Only
Right.
reason why the grandmother said grandma oven said it was too small. That was the only reason why she broke the legs off the chicken. But if we don't ask questions, we just think things are just done because they were done for a certain reason. It wasn't done for,
Absolutely.
but it was just a little example of how we pass things on and don't know
Hmm.
why, and we don't ask questions. And it had nothing to do with nothing but just the size of her oven.
which is amazing, right? To me, listen, no questions can be answered that never asked, right? And people like to go with the flow. People like to go with the flow and be like, oh, well, you did it because this is tradition, or oh, I'm telling you it's right because it's right. And listen, our parents, like you said, we treasure them, we love them, we respect our elders, but they're not always correct. They're not always right. And sometimes you got to figure out things on your own. You got to be able to walk your own path because Regina is Regina, Chris is Chris. We got to be able to make our own moves that's most comfortable to us. But sometimes you need other people's, voices and perspectives to kind of encourage you, to inspire you, to kind of shape you as well as your mindset. Because sometimes you kind of in a biased mindset, and you stuck. And you stuck because this is how you do things. This is the way you should do things because you was drilled at an early age. This is how you should do it. But that's not always going to be the case when you grow up. When you grow up, you start to see things a little bit different. And that's good. That's a good feeling. I love that. I definitely wouldn't mind going on that cruise. We definitely gonna touch more on that offline because I
Oh, we
definitely
would love
wouldn't
to
mind.
have you. We
I
would love to
certainly,
have you.
certainly wouldn't mind going. That's for sure.
Okay, good.
I'm a sports person, so I'm gonna ask you a sports favorite question. Okay, favorite
Oh,
sport you like to
here we
watch on
go.
TV. Favorite sport you like to attend in person. It could be the same sport.
I used to play basketball. I was a center and I ran track. And honestly, double dutch is a sport.
I'm
I
not
used
arguing
to
with you,
kill
yo.
I
I'm
used
not.
to kill double dutch. Double dutch was my world. I was part of that McDonald's double dutch, back in the day, McDonald's used to sponsor a double
Mm,
dutch tournament every year in New York.
okay.
And I was in it. I thought I was doing something. I was like, yo, I'm in the McDonald's tournament. But yeah, I used to love double dutch.
Mhm.
Um, to be honest with you, the sport that I'm a Giants fan.
Okay.
I'm a Giants fan.
God bless your
I
heart.
never, huh?
I say, God bless your heart for being a Giants fan.
See, I thought we were doing all right, Chris. I really thought this was going to be a good interview. And as an interviewer, you should know better not to get the guests upset. But
Uh,
obviously,
listen. I'm gonna swing it back to your favor sooner or later, though. You know that. There's no doubt about that.
look, I got my blue on too, right?
You do,
Um,
and you look good. You look very
Big
good.
Blue. Yes,
Absolutely,
Big
absolutely.
Blue. I'm a Giants through and through. I'm a New Yorker. Um, I it's funny because Giants is my team. But if
Mhm.
the Jets or the Bills that I was like, God almighty Bills, come on, you almost did it. Any New York team get through to this point, get to the Super Bowl, I got their back. Any New York team. But with this Super Bowl, I'm gonna have to go with Philly. They 2 hours down the road, you know.
I
And
feel
then they have one of our players
yeah.
that we lost. And
Mhm.
he did his job over there in Philly and made him, reach this goal. So, but yeah, so I would say football, even though I played basketball, but I never really watched basketball on TV.
Okay.
I would watch football, but basketball, I was watching for the score. I was looking, see the highlights, the reels, how so did this. But I could sit still and watch a football game.
Yeah, football is definitely I would say my second love. Basketball is definitely my first, but those two sports they really go hand in hand. I'm a Chargers fan. I grew up in San Diego. So LaDainian Tomlinson was one of my favorite players uh growing up. And then basketball wise, Kobe. That's the reason why I got into sports. So Kobe Bryant was definitely one of my favorites, and always watching him was definitely something that I truly did love for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say track. Now, the Olympics, I watched track.
Okay.
I didn't. I don't. If it's on TV, sometimes you be home on Saturdays and you'll turn it on and it'll have some track, fill on. I will watch it. Like I like watching because I used to run. They don't even do the 50-yard dash no more. That used to be
No.
something they took that out. I know,
Um,
I'm showing my age. I used to do the 50-yard dash, 100 yard, and 150. I was like, oh my gosh, it's too long. I did, I did it, but 150-yard was my favorite. That was what I used to do. I used to run those.
So that's a lap and a half, right? A lap and a half,
The 150, yeah.
150. Okay, I just wanted to see
Yeah,
and make
50
sure.
yard dash was the bomb. That's a sprinter love. Like 50 yards, you done.
I feel that. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
with you on that. Now, my last favorite question before I get into these next set is favorite place you like to eat at. Now, Regina, I'm gonna be in New York in a couple of weeks. There's an on-air fest going on in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm a
Oh.
huge foodie. So I'm gonna be there for about, say about 3 days. I need to know where should I go get some food at in New York?
I would say BBQs,
Okay.
BBQ Dallas. Uh, they have them all over Manhattan. They got them one over near Central Park that's really nice. But BBQs, I would say is number one. They have great food there. Two, you got to go to any local pizza shop on the corner. Anyone
Mm,
will work, long as it's in New York. And I'm going to tell you something.
talk to me.
Like, like I said, that I had a loss today. He was very special to me, and he was a pizza expert. He used to make different types of pizzas. He used to do all this stuff. But the thing about New York pizza and the way it is and why it's so popular is the
Right.
water. The water makes the dough.
Mm,
So when you eat pizza in the different parts of the country and it tastes different, it's because of the water. The water is what makes the dough. And the dough is the majority part of the pizza. Don't get me wrong, the sauce is too, but the dough is the foundation of the pizza. So that's why it changes, because New York water is the cleanest water almost in the country, almost to Colorado. A lot of people think of New York City, they're like, oh, it's nasty. No, New York water comes from the up north, just upstate, where everybody get their bottled water from in these stores, the
right.
springs. Those are all in
Mhm.
New York State. We get that water in the city.
Okay. I'm
New
learning
Jersey
something new. I
water,
did not know
New,
that.
New Jersey water is horrible. New Jersey
Mm,
water is chemical filled, because I lived in New York and New Jersey. New Jersey water, you can smell it when you open. It's horrible. I would never tell people to drink New Jersey water. It's so much chemicals to have it clean, but New York water is the cleanest water ever.
okay. Okay. I like that. I do.
I told you I'm a
Um,
little nerdy like this, stuff like that.
no, listen, and we all need to be educated. So I definitely love to be educated, Regina, no doubt, no doubt. So I appreciate that. Let me get into your day to day. As you
Hmm.
know, talk show media people and people in media, our days are never the same. Wake up and there's days where they might be long, short. There's days for me personally where I wake up and I don't know what assignment I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get an assignment as a freelance sports reporter, and I may have to pivot and do another job. Or I don't know how long I'm going to work on that assignment. I don't know if I'm going to get a feature story. And as talk show media, you don't know what topics can range, right? They can range all different days and times and people and stuff like that. So talk to me about your day-to-day process of preparing to get ready for your show, but also things that you do outside of your show that you would call work as well.
Well, with my talk show, it's called Let's Talk 1943.
Okay.
Uh, my show I produce, and I'm very uh, I don't want to say particular, but I guess I could say that word
Hmm.
about my show, because my show is God driven. So there's certain things we don't do. We don't gossip on my show. We
Hmm.
don't talk about just naming people names and stuff like that.
Name
We
dropping. Okay.
we yeah, we don't curse on my show. And I
Hmm.
make sure to let that be known beforehand, because if you can't do that, then I can't have you as a guest.
Right.
Because I like, we talk about situations. Now we get real. We talk about situations, but we don't put names to them, right? Because that's not the point. The point is we talking about something that helps someone either motivate, uplift, or empower. So in
Hmm.
those three things, it has to help. At the end of the day, at the end of that conversation, I want to help someone, right? I want you to be transparent. I want you to be open, but I just want us to be respectful. And then I want the show to be clean, so anyone can watch it. So those are the premises that I have around my show. And so My show, I used to go live. I went live for a couple of years for my show. And I love the
Mhm.
live because then you get the interaction and people comment and all that stuff. But as I started growing into it and started using like studios and stuff like that, or doing like you're doing, like, you get a chance to edit
Yep.
and then you go add stuff and take stuff out and, make it the production better. And I
Mhm.
started doing that. And so um, how anything you learn and grow as you do it, and you kind of know what you can do and how you can make things better. And that's how I do. So my shows are scheduled, and I'm on your home TV network. So in this network is a on-demand setup.
Mhm. Sure.
So you're able to do your episodes, get them cleaned up, do what you gotta do. You download it in, and it's evergreen. It's there forever. So I do like that better because you're able to clean up the shows and look production would be great. But I miss the live aspect of the show. And if you
Sure.
make a
Sure.
mistake, it's not really a mistake. It's called we are alive, we're living, and we are human.
That's
And I
right.
like the rawness of that. I like the rawness of a show and just being real and just being transparent. So I like both sides of it, technically. Sometimes I get on live and I'll just, like I did the other day, and I just talked for about 40 minutes and people responded. And I missed that because I didn't have not done it in a while. So when I did it, I was like, oh, I missed this.
Invigorate you a little bit, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why I know I love what I do, because when I don't do it for a while, when I do it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to make sure I do at least once a week, go live at least once a week.
Sure.
And when I read the comments, it's not to read the comments to say, oh, how great I am or whatever. No, I read them to see people say, Regina, I needed that today. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I saw that today because I really needed to hear that because I was really confused about something. Or I love that because I feel that God gives me a platform because he knows that that day someone needed that. He uses us as vessels, and he uses us to, you ever get, okay, I'm gonna give you a prime example. Do you ever get a situation, Chris, that you have a person on your mind and it keeps hitting you to call them?
Absolutely. Yes.
And you go, oh my gosh, I forgot to call him today. Oh my God. And it never leaves you alone. It keeps tapping you to call him and then you go, you know what, man, I'm calling you because you was on my mind. And I wanted just to say, what's up, man? That's God telling you to call him. He's using us.
Right.
He's telling us to call or text someone. So tell someone you love them just to say it because he's telling you for him. He wants you to let them know they are thought of and they are loved and they're not by themselves. So
Mm.
when you get those taps, do it right then because there's something going on with this person. They need to hear from someone. And he picked you to be that person. So do it. Because sometimes you'll like, oh my gosh, all week I've been wanting to call you and I keep forgetting. Do it right when it's done because that's when he's telling you because something's happening and that person needs you.
Absolutely. I love that. On here with talk show host Regina Smithwick on my Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. I want to touch up on this because when you said that, a bonus question was coming up in my mind, and that is, how long normally is your podcast? Like, how often do you do it? Do you do it 2, 3 days out of the week? Do you go for about an hour? Because when you're talking about, God working through us as vessels and being able to, advocate the good word and being able to talk about real situations, but also, I always say people have real problems, but no problems can get solved without solutions. And there's every solution to a problem. Sometimes it's a quick fix, sometimes it's a long fix, but every problem has a solution. Talk to me about how long your podcast goes on and how many times you do it throughout the week.
Oh, when I first started, we were just talking. It was me and three of my girlfriends. I God just designed for me to ask them. They said yes. We was up there for 2 hours easy, two and a half
Oh wow.
hours.
Okay.
And we were just talking. People were responding. We was answering questions. We were going back and forth. And so when you have four people and then you have people asking questions, this could go on forever, right?
Right.
So I was free willy. I was just doing whatever. But then as I started to look into just learning the craft and learning how to do the podcasting. Then when I became actually on a network, I did another network. We had time. You had to time it. So when you had to do time, that was hard for me because I mean, I'm too busy trying to concentrate on the time, and that takes away the focus of me doing what I'm doing because I get closer to the
Right.
end. I'm up there looking at the clock. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. And then so I
Yeah.
didn't like that because I was like I had too much content. Let me tell you, my best friend, she's a facilitator. She does presentations. She's amazing, right?
Hmm.
And every time I do something, she'll like, let me see that. Virginia, you have too much information here. That's too much. You're not gonna have enough time to do all this. And I'm like, no, no, because I'm gonna do Regina, I know it seems like it's not a lot, but you could take just a portion of this and make this a show. You don't need all this. So she had taught me how to kind of cut it down
Condense
to
it.
kind of horn in and really focus on that topic instead of trying to have four topics. I have one or one and a half.
Hmm.
It is enough for our show.
Okay.
So I end up going to hour. So all my shows are usually an hour. And then when I got on Your Home TV network, I used to try to cut them down for 30 minutes. And if it goes over a little bit, it's okay because it's not a time constraint on that network. It's just on demand. So so right now my shows are around 30 to 40 minutes, but I do some hour shows as well. So
Yeah,
the longest is
absolutely.
an hour though.
And that's crazy that you say that, Virginia, because when I first started this, my platform, Work Hard, Play on a podcast, you know, I was like, I didn't know what I was first. I didn't know how I was going to brand it or talk or what we're going to talk about. And I know I was a journalist. I knew I wanted to talk to other journalists, but I knew I also wanted to learn about other people's positions, not just journalism. I wanted to learn about other things in communication. Like there's people that are hosts, talk show hosts, there's people that's producers, directors, people that are anchors, people that are other positions outside of journalism and communications all together, right? So I just wanted to kind of talk to them. And then it became a point of how do I break down the questions? Because now I started to look into people's backgrounds and look online and look at their one sheets and when they sent me them and started to kind of manifest questions like that. But then it's like, okay, I'm informative. Okay, this is informative. I'm asking informative questions. Well, I don't just want it to be an informative podcast. I want it to be a fun podcast too. I want people to get to
Mhm.
know these individuals. I want people to get to know what they say. They'd be like, oh man, I knew that concert too. That was a bad concert. Oh, I know that restaurant too. That restaurant's a fly restaurant there. She know what's up in New York, and that's or whatever place it is. And that's where I was like, okay, now I'm thinking about the time. And the best thing about it was when I started this, I was like, okay, time, I'm averaging around 45 minutes to an hour. Now I know because of the great conversation and the comfortability that I have now, I know that an hour tops is probably going to be minimal because of the things that we talk about, the laughs that we have, the smiles that we have, the stories that people tell, and the comfort that also people feel on the other side of the camera. Because people are really comfortable with me talking, and that's because I want to give a comfortable space, but I also want to give a space where you can be vulnerable too because there's a lot of things that people have said on my podcast that took a lot for them to say, but they felt like they had to say it and they felt like they could say it. And it wasn't asked about, but it was something that, and typically when you have conversations, you flow with the conversation. Although you do have questions lined up, you go with the conversation leads. And that's what you do as an interviewer or somebody who's just having a conversation like that. So I love the way you broke that down because for me, the BS3 network, I told them, I said, I can't have no time restraints. I mean, there's certain people that you're going to have guests that want to talk. You might ask them a question and they'll go on a tangent. I'm telling you, Regina, they'll go on a tangent. They'll start talking about everything up under the sun, and then they'll forget about the original question you asked. But they just needed. God was using them because they needed to get that off their chest because they probably don't feel like they can talk to anybody else like that. So you let people do what is most comfortable with them, as I always do with every guest that I have on here. And we roll with it. So I've had shows as short as 35 minutes. I've had shows as long as 2 hours. So it's definitely ranged from that range. And this is a great segue because I want to ask you this question next, and that is mental health and work-life balance. The reason why I want to ask this question to you, Regina, is because mental health is much more prevalent nowadays than it's ever been. People are starting to get more and more comfortable talking about it, which it's a real thing. Like burnout is a real thing dealing with this communicative industry. Being overworked, underpaid is a real thing in this communicative industry. But not only that, but the work-life balance. People work all the time. It's hard to take time off in communication, right? Especially when you have the shortages of people, you're understaffed in most publications and most stations and stuff like that. I want to know, how do you keep your mental health strong and avoid things like burnout, overworked, underpaid, and keep your work balance life strong as well?
Well, what I do now, because I had to learn because I'm a recovering people pleaser. Um, and I need a validation for everything, right? So when you're in that kind of
Sure.
space, you're running all the time because you want to please people. So you're actually giving your loyalty to people who don't deserve it. And when you're a loyal person and when you are a people pleaser, you go above and beyond for everyone. And so that's draining. And you're not getting it back in return. So you're holding the bag to your own stuff and you're actually collecting other people's stuff. So you're
Right.
always running. I had to learn to not do that no more and only give it to people who deserve it. And no is a complete sentence. You have to learn how to say no. You have to learn how
You
to
do.
say, no, not today, or I'll cut my phone off sometimes and I'll get to you when I'm ready. I'm learning how to take my time back and take me back. And it's hard because when you train people to
Mhm.
respond in certain ways, because if you say no to someone, if they so used to you not saying no, they're gonna ask you why. Why can't you do it? And they're used to hearing an answer from you. So when you have to retrain people on how to treat you, it takes time, and some people they're not gonna make it. Some people ain't gonna make it. So some people drop off, but that's okay because that's what's supposed to happen. Because you only need
Absolutely.
to have people around you that celebrate you and not tolerate you. So
Hello.
yeah, so I had to learn that inside of that. So that
Mhm.
time management is really important to me now. I
Yeah.
have days that I hustle, I work. I've always my mind doesn't shut off. So I brought me a sound machine. And I can go to sleep in a minute, but I'll wake up and I'll be thinking about stuff and I'll be thinking about things
Mhm.
and things I could do. And I'm like, I gotta go back to bed. I gotta go. So I had to learn how to shut that down so I could get a good night's sleep. So I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning how to have days, usually Fridays. Okay, I confession. So I love Hawaii Five O, the new version, the new show that
Yes.
every Friday on Ion, they play from 10 in the morning to 7 at night. I have a vending company machine, I mean, a vending company as well. So I got to do my vending I got to go stock me and my son, we have a company. So True Blue Vending. So we have machines that we got to go stock on Friday. So Friday I do everything. I do the shopping, go stock, do all that. And then when I get back, it's about 12, 1 o'clock. I get on that couch and I watch Hawaii 5 till 7 o'clock. And that's my time to do
Okay.
absolutely nothing.
I respect
I don't
that.
think about nothing. I just watch and I watch the same shows and I act like they're brand new. I love Hawaii Five-O, but that's the times that I have.
I love that.
But
Oh,
that's the times
I
that
watch
I
the
just
same shows and act like they brand new. I like that.
and I
I'm sorry
love it.
for that.
And I'll be watching it like, oh my gosh, like I don't know. Like I know what's gonna happen.
Good.
But it's a time that I could say I just need to kind of shut down and not think. And I tell people all the time, it's okay to do that. But the problem is when you have it opposite, that you do that more than you think. That
Mhm.
all that Netflixing and binge watching, there's time for that. You can have a day that you go, you know what, today I'm just gonna just watch some movies. I'm just gonna chill out, take some naps. I'm gonna just eat some snacks, and I'm just gonna take it down. Yes, everyone needs
Absolutely.
that. But when you do that more than you do other stuff and work and hustle and get your grind on, then that's a problem.
Yes.
That's a serious problem. But when you're busy like we are, you got to actually schedule a day to do nothing.
You
Like
right.
you actually have to like put in your calendar when someone, oh no, that not Friday, that's not a good day. Friday's not a good day. I could do it Saturday, I could do it Thursday. Sundays, I usually try to chill out because that's God's day. My mother and father raised me on Sundays not to do nothing. You're not supposed to wash clothes. You're not supposed to clean your house. You're not supposed to do any kind of chore. My dad, if you didn't catch him on Saturday, it was not getting done to Monday. He did not do nothing on Sunday. Sunday, he would, they would cook dinner and stuff, but there's no house chores, no running errands, nothing on Sunday. That's God's day. You're supposed to have rest. That's the day that he's designed for rest for Sundays.
Sure.
You're not
Sure.
supposed to work. When I had to work a job, he was like, "What? On Sunday? You're not supposed to work on Sunday." So I got bad on that. I know my parents looking at me like, Regina, I did not train you that way. I do wash clothes on Sundays and stuff, but I try to be more in tune and not doing it and doing everything on Saturday. But
Sure.
my schedule be so crazy.
No, I can totally understand that. I know for me, and I know what you said. You said no is a complete sentence, and I remember you saying that. So I have the problem of, you know, and maybe you can allude to this. When things and blessings come your way, amen. Right? You receive the blessings, because I believe luck and preparation go together. I believe you have to have both of them in order to receive blessings. Sprinkling a little bit of hard work and determination in there too. But that goes with preparation as well. And sometimes you want to share your blessing. Sometimes people want to, know, and sometimes it's a curse to share your blessing
Mhm.
because, let's just keep it a buck. Sometimes family, the people that love you the most are the people that hurt you the most. There's no question about it. And sometimes family call on you and they say, oh, well, anytime that you're doing good, especially financially, you get that call and you're like, man, it's hard out here. you know?
Hard out here for a pen.
Right, right. It's hard out here, man. Let me hold something. Let me hold this. Let me hold that. Hey, man, I get it to you, and you got to tell them no. You got to tell them no, at times. But then when you do give it to them, they come back. They come back. They come back.
Mhm.
That's some of the problems that I know I've endured with my family. Is that sometimes when you share blessings, you don't know if they're happy for you genuinely or if they are in resent mode. Like me being here at the Super Bowl. This was a dream of mine to do this media role. I mean, Regina, I was looking at this on TV last year. I
Ain't
literally
that
was.
something how God works? See how that works?
Hello, you know what I'm saying? And I was working and I was doing this and doing that, and I connected with the right people and then just got here and doing my thing. But sometimes everybody's just not happy for your success. And that's
Mhm.
okay too. Because like you said, some people are some people are in your life for a reason, some people in your life for a season. And you get that. But family members, you sometimes have to love from afar. And I'm learning that I'm really truly learning that over the past, I would say, few years, is that, just because you blood and family and you love them unconditionally, it may not be reciprocated. And if it's not, you got to be okay with that. And that's tough to
It has
do.
to be. It,
That's
it
tough to
is
do.
tough to do, Chris. It's really tough to do. But let me kind of break it down in a couple of segments. So
So talk to
the first part is everyone's not meant for you. Everybody's not meant to do this full journey with you, right? And we had to stop feeling guilty for that.
yeah.
When you get to a certain point, just like anything else, there's certain parts that you're prepared, that preparation you talked about. When you get to a
Mhm.
certain latitude or longitude, you have the right air for it because you prepared. You got your lungs are together because you prepared.
Without
When
question.
people don't prepare, but they want to ride with you, all of a sudden they can't breathe, right? Because they haven't prepared. They don't know
Mm.
how to breathe in that at latitude. And
Mm.
then they mad at you because you're going and like, well, you gonna leave me, man? I have to because I did the work. I did the work to do this. I'm not gonna feel guilty because you don't want to do what you need to do what you got to do. I'm not gonna be guilty.
Mhm.
A lot of times people like to keep you where they're comfortable where you're at. You started all on the same thing. And I'm going to tell you, so one of a guest of mine was on my show, and he did this great analogy. He says, as you go into an elevator, everyone always starts on the ground floor because that's where everybody gets in there. But as you go up, don't you notice that people start getting off? And by the time you get to the top floor, it's usually only one or two of y'all left. That's life. All your family or you all started on the same level. But Chris, you put the work in. You did the due diligence.
Right.
You perfected your craft. You did everything. Now, while you doing this, you're going up these elevators. These runs down here, they didn't do nothing. And then they want to ask you for money that you worked hard for.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help you. I'm not here to be your supply. I'm not here to be your paycheck. I'm not here to be your ATM. And
Right.
that's where no has to come in, because if they need to do what they need to do, they got to put their work in. The nights that you were staying up late editing, the nights you were staying up doing these interviews, the nights that you staying up doing all this work, where are they at? Sleep, right? That's their
Right.
choice though. But that's their choice. I ain't mad at you, man. Sleep on. But if
Right.
you do that, it comes with consequences. Everything comes with consequences. If you decide to sleep when I was up grinding, you get what you're going to get. I'm going to get what I'm going to get. You cannot punish me because I didn't sleep and you did. I'm so
Mhm.
sorry. But that's the choices we make in life. You could do anything you want to do. I'm not mad at you because you sleep. I'm mad that you think that I supposed to reward you because you sleep.
Right.
I'm not. That's not going to happen. And
No.
so when we start making these moves and going up these elevators and called journey in life, we have to not feel guilty to let people be who they are and just respect them for where they at. But I love you, but I have to keep going. I'm not
Right.
stopping. I'm here. I'll come back and say holla, peace, how's the fam? I'm going back where I was at. I'm not
Right.
staying here with you. And a lot of times we get so, especially I think in our community, we get so guilt, they make us feel guilty. And it's called like the blue crab theory. Like they want to kind of pull you back, but they want
Crabs
to
in a barrel.
benefit. Yeah, they want to pull
Yeah.
you back, but
Mhm.
then they want to brag about you when you do something.
Yeah.
But yet the same people will be the first one to turn on you
Right.
because if they don't get no benefit out of it, it's not worth it. So if there's no benefit, they're not gonna, it's not gonna sustain that relationship. Like I always say, there's a difference between conditional and unconditional, right?
Sure.
Conditional
Absolutely.
people love you in their conditions only. If it benefits them, if it's in their store hours, that's what I call it. I said, what are your store hours, right? Most people love you between 9 to 5 because they're at work. It's convenient. You come to their
Right.
job, they love you, they do everything 125,000% because you're in their store hours. As soon as they clock out at 5:01 and you need them to do something, oh man, I just left, man. I mean, yo, we could do it tomorrow. Yeah, because it's not convenient for them.
Right.
That's conditional love. Unconditional love is those people that go out the way for you. 3 in the morning, you call them, you know, you can't sleep and you having something, they wake up and talk to you. They're the ones when you have a flat tire, they like, oh man, where you at? I got you, I'm coming, right? Because
Without
they love you
question.
outside of those conditions. People get that confused, and a lot of people, even in like relationships, get that confused. And so that's why they fall in love with these conditional people. And then when they like, you never support me, you never there when I need you, because they always there when they could be there for them.
Right. Convenient.
It's
When it's convenient.
right. So you fall in love with this person. Oh, he did this for me. He was wonderful. Yeah, because you did. He did it in his conditions. He did it when it wasn't inconvenient. It wasn't inconvenience for him. But as
Right.
soon as you need him to do something outside of what he wants, he's gonna be like, "Oh man, I can't go. I can't do this. I can't do that." Well, why? You was there for me before. No, he was there for you when he was able to because it was in his condition. You got
No
to be
doubt.
careful with that. So when your family loves you, when it's convenient to love you, they love you and want to be around you when you give them those VIP passes, when
Mhm.
you get them into places. When
Yeah,
you introduce them to people, or you hanging out with someone who's on a famous scale, and then they be able to go, oh, yeah, I was hanging out with my cousin Chris, and he introduced me to da 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 da. But when you have that one day, you go, look, man, I can't do it. I can't get you in. All of a sudden, you the worst thing ever happened. You don't need them people
right,
in your life. Because if a person like me, if you did that to me, I understood like, oh, like, all right, Chris, I know how that goes, man. You can't get everybody in everything. I get it. I know. Well, we'll catch up later. I get it. I'm
right.
cool.
You
Because I
understand?
understand. I
Yeah,
understand. You let me in 2 times, and the third time you want to give somebody else a pass. Who am I to say, man, Chris, you know how this,
right.
you hooked me up twice. I get it. There's
Yeah,
other people in your life, they need, you want to give it to them, go ahead.
I'm
But
with
you
you on
have to
that.
have the right mindset. So the people that you hang out with got to have your mindset. You stop trying to hang with people just because you're loyal, because you know them for 40 years. Oh, we went back to third grade. But then these are the same people who go, remember in third grade when you was in that fight with that dude and I saved you? Remember that? And they want you to hold on to that like you still owe them from the third grade.
That's crazy,
Are you
right?
serious?
Yeah.
Because they don't have nothing else that they did for you. And they had to keep
Right.
bringing up that one little thing they did for you in their life, and they keep holding on to it. So I always
Absolutely.
tell people, get with your tribe, get with people that got the same mindset. Those people that was in that room with us today and yesterday, they're like-mindedness, because we all got there because we grind. A lot of people try to get there and they couldn't. Or it takes a lot to be there. You got to get flights, hotel, you got to get equipment, you got to get props, you got to get step and repeats, you got to get all this stuff to set that takes time and money. Everyone don't want to put the grind in to do that. So those are the type of people you want to be with, the ones who are going to put that extra time in, and they understand. They understand your struggles. They understand your situation. They understand your difficulties. And they're not gonna be hard on you because they like, yo, man, I get it, because I went through that a couple weeks ago.
Absolutely.
Those are the people you want with you.
No, no doubt. No doubt. And again, great segue to this next question. That's advice. What is some advice, Regina, that you would give maybe a postgraduate, maybe somebody who wants to be in this media industry, wants to be a talk show host? Because, sometimes people get a misconception of what this journalism life is, communicative life is, right? They see you in front of the camera, like, man, Regina, you looking good, you got it going on, which is no doubt in my mind. And you talking about topics that people want to talk about, right? Because you
Mhm.
putting the work in, you doing the studying, you got your girlfriends on, you're talking, you're giving that 411, right? But
Mhm.
people don't see the behind the scenes of what it takes for you to get ready, what it takes for you to be on camera, what it takes for you to do what you got to do. They don't see when you got to wake up in the morning, when you got to work long hours, when you just said you had another business, when you got other things going on, you have a son, you got to juggle all of that and try to balance all of that. Right. And you still got to try to be successful doing a talk show host as well. But again, people only see the final product. And that's you and your podcast for 35, 40 minutes talking for whatever or however long. And for me, that's why I did this, to create this work hard, play harder. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You working hard and you playing harder. You love what you do. I love what I do. But it's work. It's work. This ain't just, this ain't play, right? We can play later. Right? That's why they say business hours, then after hours. That's why it's two
Mhm.
different things. You know what I'm saying? So my question to you is, what advice would you give that individual that wants to join the communicator space journalism industry like we're in?
I would say, first of all, ask yourself one question: who are you?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know that answer. Who are you, and what is your purpose? Because that means that you need to build your foundation first before you do anything, not even this industry, anything in general, especially this. Because if you don't know your why, you don't know who you are and your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get lost. Because then you'll be able to be dragged anywhere. And because the next thing smoking or this new trend happens, or they're like, no, don't do it that way. Social media wants you to do it this way. Or you want to get your algorithms up, you got to do this, do it this way, and do it that way. And you're jumping all over the place trying to do what everybody else is doing because that's the thing they tell you to do. And you're not
Right.
being true to yourself because you don't know who you are, you don't know your why, and you don't know, your purpose. You're
Right.
gonna you're gonna end up wasting a lot of time and keep like chasing their tail like you on a hamster wheel, right? Because if you know, I know my purpose. I know the reason why I do this show. I know what I like when it comes to certain things. Don't get me wrong. You still grow, you still mature, you still take,
Mhm.
advice and stuff, but you always stay with your foundation though. And if your foundation is, look, God led me for this. I know the numbers will come. I'm gonna do what he told me to do.
Right.
I'm not gonna, because one of my friends told me one time, he said, oh, like Wendy Williams, you know how she does this, da, 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 da. I love her. That's my girl from Jersey. Got it. But that's the way she did it. That's her way. That's the way
Mhm.
that made her be the person that she is, right? You can't be somebody else because that's not even my demeanor. I'm not like that. That's not what I do. That's not my calling. I don't take it away from nobody else, but it's not my calling. So
Right.
I have to be true to who I am and know that, yes, if I did certain things, my numbers probably go through the roof.
Right.
But I know the God I serve, and I know He grows you in elevations that you're able to absorb. Sometimes going from 0 to 100 could be too much for you, and
Right.
you'll crash and burn. Everyone is not meant for that. Everybody is not meant for instant gratification. Sometimes he wants to teach you things and on those levels we talked about earlier. So enjoy the journey and know in the fact that you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're reaching the right person or people. And as long as you get someone touched, one person, and they enjoyed your show and you made them laugh that day, maybe you just made
Sure.
them laugh. Maybe you brought something up that they always wondered about, and you answered that lifelong question. Who knows what it is? But that's the importance of this. Don't get caught up in all those numbers. Don't get me wrong. I get it. You need to know these numbers, especially social media. Okay, do your due diligence, yes. But don't get
Right.
caught up in it to the fact that you feel that you're less than, or you're not being relevant, or you're not being perfect, like your purpose is not being done because you supposed to have 8,000 and you only had 2,000.
Right.
You say, I had 2,000 people watch me today that cared enough to stop and watch me today. That is amazing to get 2,000 people to stop on this way. This social media world is instant gratification, microwavable world. You actually had 2,000 people to stop to watch your show for even 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
That's a lot. And they go, you know what? I don't have the
Definitely.
time to finish the show, but I'm gonna like Chris. So I can get other notifications when they come in, and I'm gonna start, kind of watching him. You don't need 8,000 people when there's no substance and they finicky and they running all over the place. I'd rather have 2,000 loyal listeners than to have 8,000 that's just flying around. I may see them again. Who knows?
Hello. I'm with you on that. I'm
Substance
with
is
you on
better.
that.
This stuff you don't want surface, you know? So I see things differently with that kind of stuff. I don't get caught up in all that number stuff.
Which, and I'm the same with you. I do this because it's a passion of mine. I do this once again, going back to our calling, going back to what we feel is what we are called to do. It's not just about numbers to me, because if you're doing something right and you're doing something with all your heart and you're doing it for the right reasons, the people will watch. The numbers
People
gonna
will
come.
come.
They will come regardless of what you're doing. So
Mhm.
and people do ask me at times. I'm sure they've asked you as well. There's like, well, do you ever worry? I don't never worry about what the next man or next woman is doing. I'm not in competition with anybody. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I need to compete with people. My job is to be the best Chris Drummond that I can be, because I want to be the best Chris Drummond. It's not about being number one. It's not about getting all these views and likes and TikToks and whatever this, that, and the third. I'm genuine. I'm upfront. I'm real, and I'm authentic. And that's what I want to be. That's the kind of legacy I want to leave behind. Is I want to be authentic with my podcast. I want to be authentic with people. I want to be asking questions that are informative, but again, questions that people think about and people need to think about when they get into the industry like that. I don't need to duplicate or try to replicate anybody else. And it's tough because people, you say that to people and they're like, yeah, okay, okay. No, no, no. It's really real. If you know me and you respect me, it's real.
Mhm.
I don't have to do things for likes and clicks and say different stuff like that. That's just not me. Bro, you do you. I have no judgment. If that's what you want to do, you go ahead and do it and do it with pride. But just don't expect me to join along because I'd rather be a leader that's isolated than be a follower amongst many.
Mm,
So
I like that.
that, yeah, I definitely would rather do that. There's no question about it. We have ran into the portion of the podcast now that we're going to do my interactive game called This or That. Now,
Okay.
Regina, what this is, I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, for the second time tonight, Regina, are you ready? Mm,
Proceed.
okay, now that's all I need to hear. Here we go. Which chicken place would you rather eat at? Popeyes or KFC?
KFC, extra crispy.
I like that. Okay, now, all right. When it comes to a chicken wing, which flavor would you rather have on it? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper all day.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Lemon pepper dry.
Okay. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
I usually like boneless.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You say you hesitated on that a little bit, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of different places I ate them at, so I was just thinking. But yeah, I'll go. I would say bone out.
I'm with you on that. More meat. I love it. More meat. These next five questions have to do with concerts you rather attend. So here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? Monica or Brandy?
I would say for the songs that I like, it would be Brandy. I like
Okay.
more
Okay.
songs.
Now listen, that's no shade on Monica at all. No shade
Oh
on
yeah, that's why
anybody
it was
who
hard
you
for me
don't
to
pick.
decide because yeah.
Right. That was a tough question. Here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? Beyonce or Rihanna?
I I'm not. I know people wanna. I like Beyonce. I do. I like a lot
Mhm.
of her older stuff. Crazy in Love, Deja Vu. I like that stuff with Beyonce. But I would say concert wise, I know more Beyonce's music, and I like a lot of
Mhm.
her old stuff. So I would say
Mhm.
Beyonce for that matter. That's because of
Okay.
that.
Okay. Here we go. I like that. I like that. Now, which concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Mariah Carey or Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson.
You was fast on that one.
Janet Jackson. And I just saw her last year. Yeah, last summer.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Okay. So, which music concert in their prime would you rather have seen? Prince or Michael Jackson? Oh, you looked up in the air. That's a tough.
In their prime though,
And
that's when you get,
I
yeah.
did. I did.
Um Honestly, I would say Michael Jackson because if you do in his prime to me is off the wall.
Sure.
Off the wall is I believe it or not, I like off the wall better than Thriller. I love Thriller's good, but off
Mhm.
the wall, it's something about that. Off the wall is something.
Hey,
So
that's the one that had a.
If
Go
we're gonna
ahead.
do
What you
Off the
say?
Wall and the Jackson Five and then
Mhm.
do, a lot of that stuff, definitely hands down Michael Jackson.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Now listen, that's the one that had PYT on it, if I'm not mistaken, the Off the
Well,
Wall.
PYT, yeah, PYT, no, that's the one that has Girlfriend, um, Falling in Love. It's a lot of those, Off the Wall is you gotta listen to Off the Wall all the way through. Every song is hot.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I'm with you
Yeah,
on that.
PYT, yeah.
Now I think I know this last one, but I'm gonna ask this anyway. Which music concert would you rather go to? Boys the Men or New Edition?
Oh, come on now. Stop. Stop the madness.
Come on now, Boys the Men was pretty good though.
Stop the madness.
Okay. Okay. All
Don't get
right.
me wrong, I'm not dissing the Philly boys. I mean, I'm not gonna diss the Philly boys, but come on, stop it. You can't
Now,
you can't compare the catalogs. No,
okay.
you can't do it.
Okay, so when they came back in '96, remember that Home Again album, New
Yes.
Edition?
Loved
Yeah,
it.
loved it. I love that album. People ask me all the time, "What's your favorite song on that album?" I say all of them because they were really good.
That was a good
I
one.
can't, I can't pick one that was even the interludes were good. So
All of
yeah,
them was good.
I can't pick just one. So I totally understand you on that. Regina, which sport would you rather watch on TV? Baseball or hockey?
Hockey, baseball, fall asleep.
Okay, okay, I got you on that. Which
Mm.
sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
I used to be. I got a trophy for bowling when I was younger.
Okay, now is that a participation trophy or actual like trophy
Well,
that you win?
I'm a 70s baby. We didn't do that mess back then. If you ain't win, you ain't win. You know what? I don't understand that. That's why they don't realize the damage they have done to these kids. Because
Hmm.
these kids are now adults that don't know how to deal with nothing. And they don't know that sometimes you're not gonna win. And sometimes you're not supposed to win.
Hmm.
And you're sitting here getting mad and want to quit every time something happens because you're used to being pounded back every 5 minutes because we got to tell them that, we appreciate them being here. Why? We don't need to tell them in generational X are the last of the Mohicans that are knowing that everything's not gonna go your way all the time. You're
Right,
not gonna
right.
win everything. You're not first, second, or third. And like Nas
Mhm.
said, second place is a first place loser. That's it. Second place is a first place loser. That's
I grew
it.
up like that.
Huh?
I grew up like that. I did. I
That's what
used to get
Nas
mad all
said,
the time.
but that's it. It's okay. Stop babying these kids. I don't understand. And then when they don't want to go to work, there was one meme I saw the other day, not the other day, it was probably a year ago. It was so funny. It was from the show. Um, what's the show that guy? I can't even think of the name of the show right now. Suits.
Are you talking about The
Yeah.
Office?
No, Suits. Was Suits
Suits.
or
Okay, suits. Yep.
and so the younger girl said, "You didn't even recognize what I did." He said, "I don't need to recognize what you did. You get a check every week. That means I like it."
You get
Like
a
she
check every
wanted
week.
a pat on the back for every little thing she did. And he's like, "I don't have to do that because if you get paid every week, obviously we like your work.
Right.
So I don't have to
Right.
tell you every 5 minutes that I like your work. You're still
Uh,
here, aren't you?"
hey,
That's the
you
way
right about
we
that.
think,
You right.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't do that. Like our generation don't do that. But like you said, with these kids, just because they showed up, they want them to get these little trophies. I'm like, when my kids got those things, I was like, I will not take that home. No, no, sir. No, sir. Because first of all, you have a
You
bunch of
didn't
them in
earn
the
it.
house. And what does it mean?
Right.
Because he came? First of all, I brought them. They didn't come on their own. It's not like they drove themselves here. I brought them here. So you should give me the award. I got them here. So why are we giving them? I like, thank you so much. I will take that for me. Thank you.
I feel that, Regina. I do. I have a younger brother who, growing up, you know, I received the same treatment. You know, I used to be a very sore loser, but you know, I was the first loser when I lost. When I won, I won. But I was one of those where I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I want a participation trophy. I was like, I don't want no doggone trophy. I don't want that. But my little brother growing up, he would just cry and cry and cry every time that he would lose. And my dad implemented a rule. He said, you have to let Trayvon win. That's my younger brother's name, Trayvon. I said, why? You didn't let me win. He's like, he's a younger brother. You gotta let him win. That's what I'm telling you. And I'm like, I don't even want to play the game no more. I don't want to play no games where I gotta let you win. What you mean let win? What you talking about? If you beat me, you beat me. Okay, it is what it is. I gotta get over. But let you win, that just made me want to beat you more. You know what I'm saying? But that's the generation after me. That's what it is. People will just get pampered and, oh man, we got a participation trophy and we're in ninth place out of 12 teams. I mean, what?
You lucky, shoot. But coaches that used to coach us back in the day, man, you would got torn up in that locker room. They'd be throwing chairs and screaming and
I'm trying to tell
hollering.
you.
You know,
Mhm.
even if you won sloppy, oh, you still get it. Even if you won, but it was a sloppy win, they would get you for
Mhm.
that.
No
They was like,
doubt.
you just was lucky that that team was that bad that they didn't win. That it wasn't
Oh,
because of you. Y'all didn't do nothing.
right.
They just was worse than y'all, but y'all didn't win the way you're supposed to win.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Um, do you like desserts?
Love them. I had to
Okay.
start staying away from them, but I love them. I'm a
Okay.
cake. I'm a cake expert.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw four categories at you. You get to choose one of these categories that you'll never eat again. Okay. So here we go. The first category is ice cream. The second one is cookies. The third one is candy. The last one is cakes/pies. Which one are you getting rid of?
Oh, easy, hands down. What was the other one you said? Candy.
Oh, okay. Get rid of candy. Now, what's your favorite ice cream?
I love French vanilla ice cream from Baskin Robbins. I used to love that ice cream. French vanilla was
Mhm.
different than vanilla. It's rich. It's a
Mhm.
richer eggs-based vanilla ice cream.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would say that one, but I started loving the Blue Monster. So it's basically cookies and cream, but the ice cream is blue and it has the Oreo cookie in it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my favorite. That's my favorite one. The Breyers blue container of the Oreo cookies and cream. That's what I love.
Yeah, so and cookie dough, I like cookie dough. I like that
Yeah.
too.
Me too. Me
Mhm.
too. That's my
But
second favorite.
yeah, I like that too. So those are the ice
Okay.
creams I like, but my vanilla, I'm not a chocolate. I don't like chocolate ice cream. I don't, mm.
No, I'm not huge into chocolate either. I'm more strawberry than chocolate. I'll take strawberry over chocolate any
Yeah,
day.
my mother, she used to like strawberry and butter pecan. I think
Mhm.
every older woman, every older person love butter pecan ice cream.
I know that's right. That's what's up. I like that. Okay. Do you like potato chips?
Yes.
Okay. Same format. I'm gonna throw four brands at you. You got to choose one of these brands you will never eat again. So here we go.
Okay.
First brand is Ruffles. The next brand is Pringles. The next brand is Lay's. The last brand is Doritos. Which one are you getting rid of?
Doritos.
Lord, you didn't even hesitate on that one. Just Doritos. Buy nacho cheese, buy Cool Ranch, Doritos.
Mhm.
Okay. What's your favorite potato chip?
Bonton barbecue potato chips. Bonton is a New, well, I know in New York, that's where they popular at.
Mm,
Bonton barbecue potato chips. Used to find them in the bodegas and the corner stores. And they had so much you know how you have the barbecue that has the powder, like the orange, reddish flavor, barbecue flavor.
absolutely.
It used to be so much that it used to be on the bottom of the bag like that thick. And you shake the bag up and it would be so red. Oh, mm, mm, mm.
Okay. Okay.
Some
I know what I'm
Bonton
trying when I go
barbecue
down there.
potato chips. Hmm?
I know that. When I come down to New York, I know what I'm trying to bond
Yes,
time.
they Bontons. They usually have them in those corner stores.
Okay, say less. Say less. I'm with that.
Okay.
I want a top four from you. And the top four could be people that you would like to interview yourself. You know, as a talk show host, you talk about many topics, but I would love to have a top four of guests that you would like to have on your show.
I would love Oprah,
Mm,
and not because of Oprah who Oprah is. I like what Oprah, like I believe in the same, because I started doing some work on like metaphysics
okay.
and metaphysical and the spiritual realm when it comes with God and how you one with God and like some of the beliefs like the four agreements. Um so I would love to talk to her about stuff like that because she's really mastered that way of thinking. And when you kind of master that way of thinking, you learn how to let go, you learn how to release, you learn how to just kind of not hold on to certain things. You know about the four agreements?
I do not. What's that?
Ooh. So four agreements is kind of falls but in that realm of metaphysics. And it basically talks about four things. Don't take things personal.
Okay.
Always do things to your best of ability. Do
Absolutely.
not assume and be a man or woman of your word. Those are
Mm,
the four agreements. And if
okay.
you do those, then life will kind of divinely order and work out for you. And
Mm,
taking it personal was one of the hardest things I had to learn how to not do
okay.
because you don't realize you do that until you do it. When people look at you a certain way, or if someone says something, the first thing you go, like, she rolled her eyes at me, she must don't like me, or you take things personally. And sometimes people just looked your way. It, it just maybe they didn't smile at you or whatever. It's not like they don't like you. They probably was thinking about something, or they was in a deep thought, or we
Right.
take things personally. And they a lot of times when what happens is when people are not happy, they sprawl out their unhappiness to you. So a lot of times they lash out to you. A lot of times they nasty. A lot of times they pick fights with you, or they get upset about the little simplest things. It's not because they're mad at you. It's because they're mad at themselves. They don't like who they are.
Right.
When a person like who they are, they're usually pleasant. They're usually nice. They usually, don't get upset too often. Think about the people in the world: Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King. I could just list goes on and on. What they have in common, and Gandhi, what they have in common, they always stay like this. You never see them get all like, one way up, one they get they get it, right? They don't take things personally. They understand their assignment. They're not gonna, if you're upset, they're not gonna get upset because you're upset.
Right. Even kill. They stay even kill.
Very, very.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are the things that I want to talk to people about. So Oprah is one of those people because she always had those type of guests on her show
Okay.
about living that life of freedom and peace, serenity, and just zen. And how can you just find that eternal joy that doesn't get shaken if someone does something that you don't like or don't
Right.
treat you right? Can you still keep that eternal joy? And that's one of my missions in life, to learn that internal joy that it doesn't get shifted because of somebody else's doing.
Right.
I know that was a little
Right.
deeper than what you asked for. I'm
Nah,
sorry.
you good. I love it. I love it. What would be three other people that you would like?
Oh, Barack, definitely. And
Barack.
since
Okay.
he left, yes, since Mr. Obama left the presidency, I love because he had to hold his tongue a lot, because but now he talks. He has some great advice, he's wisdom. I mean, and he's one of those people that, and his wife as well. I would love to talk to Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they endured a lot. Being in the position that they were in, dealing with the racism, dealing with the why are you here kind of thing. Michelle dealt
Sure.
with a lot, just being a black woman in the White House and being the
Right.
first lady. People didn't want that. They didn't like that. They talked bad about her. They used to draw characters of her being like a monkey and being this dominant. A lot of people are not used to dominant Black women. Black women as a whole, we are very strong.
Without question. Yeah.
We are, a lot of us are like alpha women. We will put in positions to be alpha women because a lot of us are single moms. We had to, take care of our families. We had to make sure we doing jobs for two people. And we just been raised to be so strong and independent, and it's intimidating to some people. They get very intimidated because we didn't have those passive lives. We didn't have that I could sit back and relax and then work out. I didn't
Right.
have that. So when you take care of business, we take care of business. And if
Right.
we don't like something, we're going to tell you. And you're not going to treat me any kind of way. That's not going to happen. Mm-mm. So a lot of times we are looked at as being like manly, I guess, or dominant, or whatever they want to call it. So they've been through a lot. So I would love to talk to
Sure.
them as well. So my
Sure.
last one is I want to talk to Jesus. Not, yeah, I don't want to come up there right now. I'm gonna be here. Don't take me. But if I could interview, but if I could, but if I could Zoom to heaven, it'd be like, yo, let's give me 20 minutes, God. I just want to just give me 20
Wow.
minutes. I just want to talk to you.
That would
Look,
be a heck of an
Zoom.
interview.
Look, Zoom. and peace. I'll see you in about 50 years. Um, but yeah, if you could have that choice to be able to do that and have a phone conversation or something, that would be amazing. So those are the people that I think I would love to, and I know I would love to interview.
That would be an amazing quartet of people to interview. No question about that. I think you would have some interesting questions. I'm sure they're going to have some interesting answers
It's
for sure.
answers.
No
Mhm.
question about that. I always ask this question to people in the media, and that is, if it wasn't the communicative space of you being a talk show host and a speaker, what career path would you have went down and why?
Well, mine is opposite. I already did my career path. I worked at UPS for 20 years. I retired from them going on 3 years. So I
Okay.
did that already. I did the career first, and then I did my passion after. My
Okay.
passion and purpose after my career.
Okay. UPS. I respect that. Because now, were you one of those like package handlers that drove around, or was you working in the factory?
It's so funny. Everybody says that. And all the years I worked at UPS, everyone says the same thing. And I be telling people, do you know that you have to have a corporate office that runs everything? Everybody don't drive. Everybody don't work in the package. We actually got corporate offices that we do literally corporate business positions. Everyone thinks of UPS because UPS is designed that way. They every time they market themselves and brand themselves, what you see
Mhm.
drivers, you see the
You
packages,
see
and
big brown truck.
you see the the warehouses. You see, the
Yep.
package places, right? They always show you
Absolutely.
the conveyor belts and all that stuff. So I get why people think that. But
Yeah.
I worked at corporate office in Atlanta, and then I worked
Okay.
at home. So I worked for enterprise sales. So I worked in the corporate field side of
Okay.
UPS.
I love that. That's what's up. So that's what's up. Shout out to UPS.
Yeah, I bleed brown. Yeah.
What is some advice, Regina, that someone has gave you? Now we talked about advice you would give someone, but what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Oh, I received so much advice. Um, I can tell you what someone told me actually this morning. They
Okay.
said, go deep. Do not say go deep, don't go wide. Go deep,
Mm,
meaning she said, a lot of times we want to try to conquer so much and go wide and get numbers and get like she kind of used the interview thing like on Media Row. Everyone's running around trying to get all these interviews, but you just run into people. I'd rather go deep. And if I only have 5 to 10 interviews the whole week, and they are really quality interviews that I really connected with the host, and we actually had some real deep conversation, and it actually resonated with someone else, and it helped someone else, or someone else was interested in. That is more important than having 50 interviews that are surface.
Without
Just to say
question.
you was
Yeah.
just to say you was sitting at their table, just to say a couple things here and there. When they not even, you could tell. I've been blessed enough that I haven't had this problem too bad. I a couple times I had people that just wasn't interested in what I was talking about, but it was really rare. Usually I mean the person engages with me, and usually they like to talk to me about what we're talking about. So I've been
Really?
blessed with that. But imagine you go to different people's tables and it's like, okay, oh no, it was good having you. Thank you so much. And next, you're lucky to even show your show. Because if they're
Sure.
not interested in it, in most cases, you may not even see it again. And that's wasting your time and their time. So I'd rather
Right.
have quality over quantity.
I love that. I do. I do. Regina, we are getting close to the end of the podcast. What we're going to be doing now is some rapid fire questions. So
Okay.
basically, what I want you to do, the first thing that comes to your mind on these questions, I just want you to shout it out with glee. So the last time I'm going to ask you for tonight, Regina, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. Burgers or tacos?
Burgers,
Chicken or ribs?
chicken,
Pancakes or waffles?
waffles.
Favorite color?
Well, I would have to say, because I'm a part of the best sorority of the land, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I actually
Okay.
have on my royal blue right here. Actually, I have my
Mhm.
pin on. There you go. Zeta
I
Phi
see that. It's looking good. Look at
royal
that.
blue and pure white. I would say
Okay.
that. So,
Okay.
but technically, I would say my favorite color or metallics. I like golds and metals and browns and silvers. I like metallic colors.
Okay. Okay. Favorite TV show or Netflix series?
You're gonna get mad because I told you different strokes.
Mm, that's right. The Drummonds. That's right. What you talking about? What you
Uh,
talking about, Willis? What you
what you
talking
talking
about?
about? Yeah, different strokes and facts of life were my favorite growing up. That was my favorite shows.
I love me some Tootie. That's for sure. Love me some
I
Tootie.
know those are my favorite shows growing up. Of course, being a 70s baby, excuse me, being a 70s baby, it's a lot of shows I can name that I watched, of course, like Sanford Son, Jeffersons, all those shows. But I used to love Todd Bridges. I love Todd Bridges. So different strokes did something for me. That in Facts of Life, because they kind of crossed over with Miss
Mhm.
Garrett.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel
Mhm.
you on that. One of my throwback shows that I really love was All in the Family. All in the
I like
Family.
that too. I used to watch that too.
Yeah, yeah, I really did like that. The grandmother had me cracking up. She was so funny. Okay, favorite alcoholic drink.
I'm not really a drinker. But a good glass of Moscato wine is good.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah,
it is. I'm a
I would
cab
drink a
person
good
too.
Moscato.
Cabernet wine too. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Let me switch it up on you. Favorite non-alcoholic drink.
Well, I don't drink sodas anymore. I haven't drunk sodas over 15 years.
Mm,
But when I drink mostly water now. I usually just
okay.
drink a lot of water. But when I used to drink sodas, my favorite soda was I used to love Pepsi and
Okay.
Sprite were my favorite sodas at the time.
Okay. I like that.
And ginger ale, when you was sick, my mother used to always give me my ginger ale for my stomach. So I used to like ginger ale and saltine crackers when I was sick.
Fun fact, Regina. I've never had ginger ale.
Hmm?
Yeah, never had ginger ale. I
You never
never
had that
done.
when your stomach was upset? You never had ginger ale?
Always had 7 Up.
Oh, okay. So that was okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I never had the ginger ale before. I don't even know which one to try for my first
Canada
time.
Dry, just Canada Dry.
Okay,
Canada,
Canada
yeah,
Dry.
that's the best one.
Okay, I'll definitely. Hey, I'm gonna let you know how that is. I promise you, I'm
Okay.
gonna try that
All
very
right.
soon.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite sandwich.
I always get the turkey, smoked turkey with Swiss cheese
Mm,
extra mayo, mayonnaise, onions,
mm,
pickles, lettuce.
mm. I got you. Until you said pickles, everything was good. Everything was good on that. Everything was good. But that's okay. That's all right. I like the sandwich I did. If you had a choice to listen to three artists or three songs that you would never get tired of, you could listen to them on repeat. Who would those three artists or three songs be?
Funky for You, Nice and Smooth. Um, Annie Up, MOP.
Okay, all right now.
Um, Jay-Z. Oh, it's a lot of them are Jay-Z's.
Yeah,
Public, no, is it public announcement? Yeah,
public service announcement.
yep.
Okay, wow. Annie up with MOP, huh? Put that remix on, get bust on that thing. Then yeah, it get real live. I like that. And Jay Z, I mean, you can't go wrong with any song that you choose from Jay Z. But for me,
Mhm.
the one song that I probably would choose from him that I can listen to on repeat, I get tired of, never change, never change. Will be
Mhm.
mine. If you had three people that you could choose to go with you on a vacation, so 3 plus 1, get a one, which would be four. Who would those three people that you would choose, and where would you go? Now, Regina, you could choose friends, family, or celebrities.
Well, I usually vacation with my BFF. We used to do our vacation together, so definitely her. Um, Celebrities.
Two more.
I would like to hang with Taraji and Regina King.
Okay. Now you do know you got kind of that Mary J. Blige kind of like sound. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sound very similar. Now I'm not sure if you I'm not sure if you ever met her or nothing like that, but y'all definitely
Yeah,
sound
we're from
similar.
Westchester County. I'm from Mount Vernon, and she's from Yonkers, so we from the same area.
Okay, so yeah, you pretty much. I got you. That's what's up. But Regina Hall and Taraji, oof, that's beautiful right there. That's Black beauty at its finest. There's no question about that.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. And talent, very talented actresses as
Mhm.
well, no doubt. I know y'all will have some stimulating conversations for
Oh
sure.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And Regina, oh, you can't go wrong.
Niche, obviously, right? Obviously, right? Spades
Mhm.
or dominoes?
Ah, I know people don't even get on me. I was taught how to play space when I was in college. And I didn't play that well. So of course, when you was in, people don't want to play with you when you don't know what you're doing.
You ain't
And then
lying.
I haven't played for a while. So then when I was like want to learn again, no one was, you can't teach someone while you're playing. You have to like learn when there's no game going on, right?
This
So
is
I
true.
never play. So when I ask someone to teach me, they don't want to teach me because it's like I'm playing right now. I cannot teach you when I'm playing. So I don't know how to play spades like that no more. I barely played it when I was in college.
Mm.
Dominoes, I get it, but I don't get it. Like it doesn't do nothing for me. So I would say neither.
Are you a rummy person? Are you a cards game person?
I play Crazy Eights and Uno.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. Um, the last question I want to ask you is this for the rapid fire. If they told you, Regina, you can only talk about one genre of stuff for the rest of your career, which genre out of these would you choose? Would you choose entertainment slash music, news, politics, or sports?
Music because I'm a hip hop head. I listen to it every day. I have to have my hip hop. So hip hop.
Okay. No, I like that. I can respect that. I'm a true hip hop head as well. No doubt about that. This has been a really, really fun conversation of getting to
Yes,
know
thank
you
you.
and getting to know your why of why you do what you do and your calling, your purpose. I think you gave great advice. I love the journey that you came in. Obviously, as you said, well educated as well, going to multiple schools, getting your undergrad, your master's, and a certificate.
Mhm.
And it was just a pleasure meeting you here at Radio Row. here in New Orleans. I'm
Same
definitely
here,
fortunate.
Chris.
Definitely fortunate that you came onto my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. As I always do, the final question, Regina, is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
Well, I would like to say thank you so much, Mr. Drummond. I love saying that name because, different strokes. Mr. Drummond, I truly was blessed and highly favored for you to have me on your podcast. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your platform. I would say to everyone, ask yourself that question, who are you? And if you don't know the answer, please find out, because you're not living in your purpose if you don't know. And if you don't mind, I can let people know how they can reach me. If
Please.
interested. Okay. So my website is www.rsenterprises with a S .life. rsenterprises.life. Anything, everything you want to know about Regina Smithwick is on my website. And God bless your listeners. And y'all have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Regina. You and I would definitely talk offline about that cruise. Once
All right.
again, I want to definitely say thank you for coming on to my podcast. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening and week, and you and I will definitely be in touch.
All right. Well, thank you. God bless. Have a good night.